Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good day, good day, good day. I would like to welcome each and every one of you to a most chaotic and crazy, all for success morning chat. As you can see, I'm hitting a delay here. Listen, guys, I am on the road, but I've been watching some of my favorite YouTubers do things on the road, and I said, even though I'm traveling, I think I can do that too. Well, let me tell you, don't try everything you see someone else do, okay? But anyway, folks, I'm going to do the best that I can, and I won't drag this out too long because it would be pain for a long time. But thank you all for being here for All for Success. I just had a couple of passing thoughts as I wanted to let you all know, those of you who are new, at least I hope there's some folks that will join in new because I lost a subscriber. I haven't even gotten to 1,000 folks, and I'm sitting here already losing people. I've got to do some work to get some people on board. But listen, I want to let you know we're welcoming you to a Sussex friendly space. And this is an overall somewhat positive friendly space for other things. But I like to support our young family as they are trying to navigate many of the hurdles and the things that they are in competition with or combating that is being hurled at them from the UK tabloid media and basically any other source that is feeding into the UK tabloid media. So I am a fan of things that Harry and Meghan do. I am really enjoying the fact that they are trying their best to bring attention to causes that will help families and young people try to explore ways of navigating this world, especially in the social media spaces. And I think we can all agree that that is a wonderful and fantastic thing to do. At least I hope we can all agree on that. All right, now I'm trying to maneuver myself. I've been traveling and I'm visiting some relatives, and I tell you, I've had a great time. And I hope that all of you will have the opportunity to do the same things. It's nice to be on the road, but it is a little bit of a trick to try to go ahead and also join in on your chat groups, or if you're doing any type of social media, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I've got to do this and try to do it by any other mobile means I have. And so that's where I am right now. So it might take me a little moment to adjust here and there. So, anyway, as usual, get your coffee ready, sit down and enjoy what's going on. If you're going to have coffee, do that. And I'm going to sit here and try to find some coffee to drink that's actually powerful enough to keep me awake. And then in 1 second, I'm going to start to ready my little short slideshow. So bear with me while I'll make a couple of little adjustments there. Okay, so hang on and get your coffee ready. And just like a commercial break, I'm hoping that we are back as if I'm on a television show. So let's see what we've got here. Now, what I have up, of course, is the slide to let you know that you should be keeping up all of your physical activities. Make sure that you're getting out there and exercising as best you can. Do all the things that you need to do to stay healthy because we are all trying to hang in there. And of course, if you are a parent of adult children like I am, that means you are of a certain age that you need to pay very close attention to your health and well being. Well, I have to say that this week I did skip a little bit on my walks, only a little bit because I had a work requirement that caused me to have to pay a little bit more attention to that in the real world than I could some of my own personal activities. But I did finally get back to them. Hey, so I'm going to encourage all of you to do the same. So get your fitness in. And of course, leave in the chat any type of physical activity that you are participating in, even if it's something as simple as stretching or yoga or something like that. Or if you want to participate in some type of physical activity, perhaps someone in the chat can lead you in a direction to work that out. That would be great, wouldn't it? Okay, so here's what our folks are getting up to. Ladies and gentlemen, if there are any, I would like to let you know that, here's the royal family photo of a time that could have been, right? This is a snapshot of a world that could have produced good times for all. Am I right? Happy faces, people together on special occasions, and getting along and preparing for what they wanted to do next in their life or in their days. This is what we could have had, right? And this would have been the core group. They would have been the core um, element of perfection. Yes, it could have simply been like this. But between the family themselves, and of course, like any family, there are issues. And I want you all to understand that because I'm traveling now and I'm visiting family. And I want to I want to point out that during my visit with my family, it was a great time seeing people that I haven't seen in years. That's always fun. Trying to catch up on conversations that you might want to know how people are doing, how people are feeling, how's health, how their health is going, because that is generally what happens when you are visiting and spending time with family, right? That is the norm. So, why is it that so often we all have issues with family members? We talk about the love that we have for our family, but yet there are elements that happen within our families, things that are happening within our days, and we wonder why we sometimes struggle to maintain the love and the relationships that we have for our families. And I was thinking about that as I spent time in and around visiting my folks. I went back to my little hometown, and it's intriguing because even I, as I am here, can see how statements or conversations get mistaken, misunderstood, how a general inquiry about an individual that you may not have seen for years could lead to a disruption or a perception that you don't care about people or that you're concerned. Because in my case, the hometown that I'm from, I haven't spent a lot of time here in probably 25 to 30 years. So, what's interesting about what's happening with me, what I'm finding out from time to time? I may think that a person is here who has actually passed on. That happens to me often when I come visit home on a short visit. There are people who have passed on. There are funerals that have been had. I have found out in and around my neighborhood, there are properties that have been sold because someone died, or rather, I should say, someone passed on. And I didn't remember, or maybe I didn't read about it, or someone didn't tell me about it. Because if someone from home doesn't mention it, I may not even know about it. And if they did mention it and then 10 years passes, guess what? I might even forget about it. And so in me reviewing that in my own life, I began to try. Okay, no, I'm not going to be very sympathetic to the UK tabloids or the royal family. But it began to dawn on me how easy it is to have family disruptions over minor things that can escalate. Small things like thinking you remember something that actually has happened years ago or didn't happen at all, not to the memory of anyone else. And so this is where I was kind of in the thought process. This is where I was meandering as I was thinking about some of the things that, of course, Harry and Meghan are participating in and dealing with in their lives. And it dawns on me that sometimes a family member can get irritated and upset by you, and you don't even realize it's happening. And they're very unlikely to bring it out in the open and to confront it. What is common in and around the area that I live in and common among the people that I grew up with is they have a very oh gosh, very great reluctance to share personal thoughts, to share their personal reactions to things. For example, if someone if their feelings are hurt by something you say or do, they are not likely to tell you. They're not likely to share with you that they are upset with you. So imagine, how will you ever resolve grievances, right? So that's what I was thinking about as I'm traveling around my hometown. That because here in our families, we experience many of the same things that Harry and Meghan are going through, just in a different realm and on a different scale. But it's really much of the same things. And I don't know if you all in your families have these type of things happen, right? I mean, you could ask someone a simple question if you're driving through my hometown. I might ask a simple question like, "Oh, I see Bobby is working on his house." And I'll get a response back like, "Well, it's taken them a long time to do it because, well, so and so lost their job, and this person passed away. And so they weren't able to get that roof done. What made you think he was gonna get it done earlier?" Like, they'll become offended because you brought that up. That is the kind of town that I'm growing up in. So I can imagine the royal family might be that kind of town, right? So saying that, that is something that it's interesting how that process of thinking, my thinking about it, I became a little bit more illuminated in the navigation that Harry and Meghan are trying to have when there's already offense taken, right? No matter what they do or how they do it, the offense has already been taken. And it could be based on any number of past interactions. And that is what it's like when you go back and visit home. It's difficult. And oddly, so to speak, we all found out this week that Harry did dip in to a memorial service of another relative in the Spencer family, and that he dipped in really quickly and then dipped out. I'm not, well, I said dipped out, but it's not sure if he's actually going to be participating in some other events. But that too brought a lot of grievance to the UK tabloid press. Why? Because they didn't know. And of course, they pride themselves on being so involved in Harry and Meghan's personal lives that they think they're going to be aware of every move he makes. They try so hard to not only speculate about what he's going to do in the future, but they try very hard to tell everyone in the world what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. And the fact they want to give the impression that they know everything that Harry and Meghan are thinking and doing. They are losing the battle, right? Join me in saying that, folks. Let's just all join in and say they are losing the battle. Harry and Meghan have changed the game. And so they are struggling to adapt to it. and they're struggling to keep up with it. And I must say, as I am watching this spill out in the media, I love watching the pain that they are enduring. So let's hope they continue to endure the pain. So I just love to continue watching Harry and Meghan as they still show their love to each other, as they visit around the world, sharing their love and trying to uplift as many people as they can along the way with their good work and their support, even if it also benefits them. Now, to the rest of us, this is not a crime. But to the UK royal family, how dare they benefit or do well in any way? The royal family hates that very idea. So I'm going to take a second and apologize, of course, for any background noise, because I want you all to understand that I am coming to you live from on the road. Okay. All right, I want to say good morning to who I see here in the chat already. I don't, okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. It looks like Miss Connie Balmer is here. Thank you so much. Whenever I see Connie Balmer in the chat, I want to let everyone know that this is a super chatty, okay, a super squatty. And I am so, so blessed to have you here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining in on All for Success. And I hope I say something that you find interesting or entertaining. Thank you for coming. I am so glad to see the Super Squatties here. Let's see who else we got here. Joyce Anderson, good Saturday morning to you. Look, I was even confused because I'm in a different time zone. So I almost missed the chat completely. Thank you so much for being here, Joyce Anderson. It is so great to have you also in the Super Squad category of the chat line. I am loving that. And I'm promising you guys, the Super Chatties, that I am going to work a little bit harder to do a little bit better if I can to to start to produce a product that at least looks like I'm trying to do this work right. So thank you all for coming and being in the chat. I love it. And Joyce Anderson says that she agrees with me, but she also says that she feels they are losing the battle. Yes, that is what I am sensing. And I am hoping that that is the case. So we're going to just stay in their corner if that's where we feel we need to be. um in supporting in the ways that we can support, right? You can, if you want to join into any of the wonderful charities that they have, or if you're interested in any of the products that Megan works with, fabulous. All of those things are supportive, but not just of her. They are immensely supportive of the people in and around them. And that is the beauty of who they are, which again is who the UK royals could have embraced and continued to be. But the UK royal world, that institution of 1,000 years, could not adapt to the new world. They really truly believe that this world and the way it operates is going to stay the same. Now, don't get me wrong, many things do. Many things in the world stay the same. They never change. For example, as we look at these horrible people who lie for money, right? They do nothing but come on TV and give their lies and opinions for the money that they make by doing it. Why? Because outrage right now earns cash. Right now, we live in a realm where fame is attached to outrage about whatever, and that you can instigate and insinuate all over the social media platform world. And that right now, that model makes money. The thing is, and I don't know if this will ever happen, but it's very, very possible that there may come a day where that might become a liability, especially as there is a growing need and a growing want for people to be more cooperative, to be more empathetic. There may come a time when actually the forms of media that you are involved with right now, they may find that it is not going to earn them a penny to be as cruel as they are. Now, of course, these people are not going to go down, they're not going to go down quietly. They're going to kick and scream all the way. Yes? They're going to kick and scream all the way. And they're going to fight to keep anger, divisiveness in the headline. Now, for those of you who are maybe not from this area, but here in the United States, we are just about to get started in what is called campaign season. And that's because during this time of the year, this is when elections are happening, even in our cities, our states. But we've got big elections coming up, like presidential, right? And then we'll have senatorial and Congress. And those elections in this time of year here in the United States, it's going to bring out, oh my goodness, you're not going to hear a lot of positive things about anyone who is involved in this political arena. And of course, in this particular environment, that is what currently earns money. That is how the big dollars are made on television, radio, advertisements. You make a lot of money, at least in the past, by being as dreadful and as awful as you could be about your opponent. And this is, again, look at the UK tabloid media, right? Look at the representatives in their media spaces. And the fact that they have sprinkled these people throughout the United States in our media empires. And they have brought their special brand of vitriol and their special brand of intrusiveness to this country, and they are selling it like a product, right? The distaste and the dislike of everyone. In the meantime, putting down any and everything that is positive. If someone speaks positively about environmental work or positively about taking care of the indigent in our country or supporting those who have any deficiencies, whether they are physical or mental, right? We have an entire cadre of personalities that put people down for these positive things. So, what does that say about your country? And what does that say about you as a people? But I tell you what, I sense a trend. And I don't know if this is from the young people that I am running into from time to time, the kids who are out and about. What I am sensing is a trend, a great trend, that younger people, first of all, they are more visible and more transparent. And the reason being is we're living in a new era. Social media, camera work, all of that. Look how visible we are all becoming, right? That's one thing. So that the second part of that nature where you can hide all of the things about yourself in secret, like you could be a really lovely, nice person out front, but you could in secret be a horrible person. You see, that world is about to disappear. That world is slowly disappearing. It is becoming harder and harder to hide the true you, right? And so, just like these folks here, and I'm featuring this photo here of Omid Scobie because there are personalities coming forward very much in the realm where he operates. In the realm of, I'm doing an investigation, I'm writing about what I see, and I'm exposing what I see. You see, these things that people thought to hide, they're slowly going to come out. They used to take years, like it would take 50, 60 years for something to come forward and come out about a person. But today, our world is operating with the speed of light, literally, because the internet moves over fiber optic cable. And that is the speed of light, people. So nowadays, the dirt that you did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that dirt is going to hit prime time. And nowadays, the dirt you did yesterday, well, they're going to be filming and showing it live. Okay? So that's what's happening. And I think, and I mean, I'm just going to make this prediction. And I'm hoping that you all we're all around and we can see if this is actually something that could possibly break down. Depending on how our election season results uh, um operate, depending on how things fall out, I believe you might, it's very possible, I believe you could see a movement, in fact, where these types of behaviors are going to be placed in a category that no one wants to support any longer. And that these types of um, undeniable machines of hatred and deception are going to be exposed in such a way that you can choose that if that's what you want. But that the many people who may not choose it are going to walk away from it. And so I'm still waiting to hear about Omid Scobie's work that's coming up on Netflix. So if any of you know when that's about to show up or how that's gonna be presented, feel free to drop in the chat how that's gonna be coming about. I would love to know where that is going to show up in our world of creations here, right? I'm excited. So if you know anything about it, please let me know. I can't wait because I'm sure it's going to be an interesting production. What do they say? Loosely based on reality. But I can't wait. I think that slide I might have missed. That was the same. Okay, we're going to skip that. Okay, I'm flipping through slides, people. Bear with me. Again, this show is on the road. So anyway, I know I'm somewhat off topic, people, and that's again because I'm traveling and I'm kind of going through my own thought processes. But I want to celebrate still the things that Harry and Meghan have done, and we all are celebrating their trip to Colombia. It was fabulous. We're celebrating the fact that he won that award, the award for helping featuring the disabled soldiers. Fantastic. And we love to see them out and about in public, in the public eye, looking relaxed, looking happy, and at least giving a view of a happy couple. Now, what do the tabloids say? Here's how the tabloids re represent what is happening. One, the trip is to a hostile country. It's an awful place. Two, someone may have spotted them arguing in the parking lot or in the airport because they love the UK tabloid media. They love to throw something like that out, which sounds nuts, but they love to drop that maybe they were arguing somewhere. And three, that whatever they're doing, they can't figure out what it is. So on the UK tabloid media front, they love to repeat over and over the sentence, I don't know what he's doing. I don't get what they're doing. I don't know what it's about. They love to say that because they want to give the impression that Harry and Meghan are just flailing around, confused and looking for jobs like they don't know what to do, right? But the rest of us who are paying very close attention, we can see that their plans are extremely strictly laid out. We can see the accomplishments in everything they do. We are visibly watching it. It's wonderful to view. So the only people who are confused are the naysayers. And so here's what's coming up next. So the announcement that he went there home to the UK, traveled, we're going to get a lot more features and information about that. I can't wait to find out what all was happening there. It was said that they were in the same spot with Prince William, but we don't know. We'll see. And then also, he's going to be coming up on a trip to New York very soon, where he's going to be working in and around different elements of, I believe, the UN mission. So, guys, I am excited to see what's going to come out of that. Meanwhile, okay, meanwhile, we're told that Prince William normally would be there for his Earthshot prize. But, guys, we're going to have to stand by and see if that actually happens, right? Because the UK royals are constantly announcing to the effect they have to take steps back, and they have to take steps down, and they have to reduce their interactions. So we will see if there's actual activity coming in and around them, right? So I tell you what, guys, keep your fingers and toes crossed, and let's see how Harry's trip to New York goes. I'm excited. All right, folks. And I know I'm moving along a little faster today. And why? Because that's how we're working. We're going to work. We're working in a fleeting movement. So listen, Harry and Meghan, I think they're going to be fine. I really do. But we can't close our eyes to the fact that they are constantly in a battle stance. They have to be. They will always have to keep the posture that they will have to stand ready. And I think even if there were, like right now, there are rumors in the air about the king feeling a little bit more forlorn, like he needs to think about forgiveness and talk such as that. People, we just need to stand fast and keep praying because we don't have any idea what that might mean. Because anything that is being said but for them through the media lens, you have no idea what it means or if it's even real. What they often do in the media landscape is just put out things to test the waters to see if they can get somebody to react to it. And I believe that that's one of these situations. Oh, the king is feeling a little bit, sad that he hasn't met his grandchildren. Okay, right, sure he has, right, whatever. But we just have to stand strong and understand that those headlines might be test headlines just to see how the rest of the world reacts to it. And then they'll know what next step to take, right? Me, I think things are pretty much where they always have been. And I believe Harry has become a very strong person behind all of these experiences. And I don't think he is in the business of being um, duped or cajoled into some weird position. I believe Harry, next generation royal, they are not doing that anymore. Now, I could be wrong, but that is my belief. So let's hope that that's the case. Guys, once again, I wanted to show you a view of what it looks like when I'm headed home. Don't be jealous. Just get in your car and ride on out here. But this is this is the area as it looks when I'm headed out. So I'm not gonna keep this chat going too long. So I wanted to just go back one more time and see if I missed anybody. And I wanted to say good morning again. Oh, Joyce Anderson again. Yes, they are losing the battle. I think I read that. I'm not sure. But yes, I agree. And we're going to keep being on their side and backing them up in this battle. And I see that there's also in the chat, Hen Pal, hello to all. Thank you, Lord, for a wonderful day. Oh, yes, indeed. I agree. And let's indeed keep that things going because we need more days like this. At least where I am, the weather is really lovely and pretty nice, as you can see. I love it. So, of course, as I always like to wrap up, folks, I like to give you kind of a connecting thought. You all know that I think Meghan is a fantastic operator. I understand she has gone through some tough times, but I am amazed and I am in awe of how she has come out on the other side. I think it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And we want to, um, I like to look at Bible verses. And again, I always give you the caveat. Nope, I'm not preaching. Nope, I'm not recruiting. Nope, this isn't a cult. But I always like to look at Bible verses that remind me or put me in the thought of women in the favor of Meghan. I don't know why. Sometimes I'll read something and it'll just put her in my mind's eye. And also, oh, I just noticed another chat. I'm so sorry. Thank you also, R.R. Carter. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here as well. Oh, you saw the view? Yes. Yes, people will. You're right. Getting on that road, when you're headed up that way. I'm in the Virginia area, by the way. So if you get on that road and those back roads, let me tell you, they whip and they whine and they go up and they go down mountainsides. They are beautiful. But I will tell you this: there are no guardrails. So you have to be careful, and you had best be watching where you're going. And it is fun to watch when I know the roads very much, from the past as a kid growing up in that region. And I think it's probably really struggle for folks who don't ever drive those roads. They probably are like, what kind of street is this? But yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, and I also noticed we have, let's see if I say this right. LMZ Lifestyle. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad to have you here as well. But yes, I'm going to get all of you guys out here in these woods riding around. You can come and check it out. So, as I was saying about the character of Megan and how it often will remind me of certain Bible verses that I might read or a Bible story, I remember the story of Deborah, the Song of Deborah. Now, for those of you who are interested in the Song of Deborah, you just trot on over to any Bible, any King. I always like the King James Version, but that's just the way I like to read. The these and the thous, I find it like poetry. But in the standard biblical text, Judges 5, there's a chapter that talks about Deborah. Now, Deborah, I'll give you a short backstory before I read this. Short backstory, she was sitting around under a palm tree doing her thing, and she felt the calling to do something as she was hearing about a potential battle coming her way, right? Because they were living in this time period, the Israelites were in battles constantly trying to gather themselves together. And so this huge army was coming their way. And she was kind of moved to feel, she was moved, in fact, to say, something needs to be done about this, right? Something needs to be done about this horde um, of personnel and military personnel. They were talking about the number of chariots that were in line to come and attack them. And so she went to I think he would have been considered a general, and his name is Barak, all right, coincidentally. And she went to this general, Barak, and pleaded with him about the fact that something needed to be done. This army was about to descend upon the Israelites, right? Well, that's the backstory. So here's what happened. Now, the Bible doesn't speak much about women taking the front or lead in many, many things. But in this particular case, the way she pleaded, I guess, her case of they needed to do something, they needed to gather an army and try to take on this battle. It led the general, Barak himself, to say, well, if I'm going to go and try to lead this army, you are going to have to come with us. Can you imagine that, folks? Can you imagine? Can you imagine being a woman saying, "Oh, okay, y'all need to do something," and then the leader looks at you and goes, "Well, yeah, fine, we'll go ahead and take the helm." Imagine. Well, actually, that is what happened. So that is the Song of Deborah. You all can read that, and you might enjoy some of the things that you might learn from it. And for me, that is how, again, I see some of Megan's story. Right here, she is struggling through this life, struggling through what she's putting up with. And yet, what's happening, what appears to be happening, is that the battle that is being waged, although Harry is pulling it up, he is pulling it together. But in this battle, in this worldwide battle, this worldwide media battle, in this media frenzy of let's make everything negative, the new way to operate, a person like Megan has actually become the forefront. She is basically out in front of the army, right? And the squaddies, in a way, have become somewhat of an army, right? So the Song of Deborah, Judges 5, it starts with, this is a chapter in the Bible and it contains the Song of Deborah. And this chapter teaches us about courage, faith, and reliance on God. It highlights the importance of the roles that women did play in that history. Their history is challenging, it's traditional gender roles, but the song praises the fact that the Lord came out front on behalf of Israel, right? It called on the kings and the princes to do what? To to look to the Lord actually for the salvation. And if you read the Song of Deborah, I won't be a spoiler. So you will have to find out how that battle came out. And it was going to be vicious. All right. So I hope that you can enjoy reading that if you are interested. So, guys, once again, this is wrapping me up. I know it's a little bit faster than usual, and that is, of course, because I am learning to maneuver while being on a trip, on a sort of vacation, and while being out here. But mainly, I wanted to share my thoughts about sometimes the disruptions and the intricacies, and sometimes just families in general can take offense and be, I guess, at odds with each other, and you don't even realize it that it is actually happening. You may not even realize someone was offended by or hurt by something you said or something you asked, which could have been so nefarious to, I mean, no, I'm sorry, non-nefarious to you. Something so simple. And I'll tell you the truth. As I operate here in my hometown, um, I'm coming up on my last day and night here in my hometown. I will tell you that I have had conversations with people, and basically, in some cases, I realized I needed to somewhat tread on eggshells because the reactions from people and the things that they may be enduring and going through is a representation of how they react to you. So if that is the case with Harry and Meghan and the rest of the UK royal family, I tell you, I cannot say I don't get it because it is really opening my eyes to how simple things can cause major, major issues. So let's give yourselves a round of applause and thank you for sticking it out with me. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, stay focused, stay positive, and keep winning.